Good evening.
Good evening. You're listening live to the Extreme Movie Show. I'm your host, Rob, with RDV from the Great Midwest. We are going to be talking tonight, ladies and gentlemen, about Landman Season 2, Episode 7. It's a balmy 45 degrees here at the Pinellas Palace, just west of Orlando, Florida. And I think you said 18 degrees Fahrenheit there, sir?
Yep, it is 18 degrees Fahrenheit. It is nice.
You know what else is nice and not cold? And that would be Episode 7 of Landman, which finds us in West Texas. And this is a classic example, RDV, of a show that knows what it is, whether we like what's going in certain directions or not, and it's setting it up. No surprises here. If
Yep.
anything, I would sit there and say this is a very subdued episode that now that everybody's on the same page emotionally at the end of the episode, I think it's going to go full tilt boogie in the last couple with a big crescendo. What's your take on this episode?
Yeah, it's like we're just getting over the hill of the middle. Yeah, I said everything's kind of this was coming to fruit. Was going to come as far as stories we're building up in here, and now it just seems like all the shit's gonna hit the fan because there was no Galeno, there was no Cami in this episode. This is pretty much a filler episode, a very, very boring episode, but it does set up some more challenges. And also we get to see more character growth, especially for everyone in here. Obviously, this episode is pretty much well, we start out with a cookout at Mustafa Speaks, basically his character's house. All the guys there too, and the wives, everything. And Dale shows up, and the guy we learn that Mustafa Speaks character has been for 20 years, and they're all kind of sitting around. And he says, "You know what?" He's like, "I'm probably retiring, because it's after seeing what happened to their friend who's basically blind."
Yep.
The new guy, and Dale said, is like, "Hey, it's not everybody. It's what basically what Tommy says. You make your stuff, and then you get out of here, and you live to tell another day." And Dale said, but Dale said, he's like, I ain't the type to quit. I'm the crazy guy. I'm the cowboy. I'm in it for life.
The fortune hunter, I think
yeah,
is what he says.
Yeah, the treasure hunter. Yeah, and so kind of the kind of because Tommy is the one that basically gave him a gift. Dale's the one to get passing on from Tommy. It's a watch, a nice and fancy watch.
Rolex, bro.
Yeah, it's like they're joking how it's like, dude, you can like just quit your job and sell that and live comfortably.
What I thought was interesting about this scene too is even Fortune Hunter guy makes a comment to all the wives in there about something or whatever, like, yeah, just find me a swimsuit, a model in a swimsuit or something like that. And the lady's passing them by, she looks up and then she's serious. She goes, "Well, I have a swimsuit." Keeps walking by, so we know that's going to be something.
So,
but the big thing is this scene is like every other scene that we're going to talk about here, and that's this. They're talking about what it means to be in the rat race and what it means to know when to leave, running on the hamster wheel and being in control of your destiny, not feeling like it's controlling you. And that's something we have not really seen. We've just seen stages of relationships in this whole episode. Once they start getting in the second and third scenes here, that's clearly what it was all about. It's okay, let's all get a perspective of what's important in here before the shit really hits the fan.
Yeah, and said this whole thing, we've been ever since the first season, we've known that this is pretty much well, it's a gamble. We saw the very first episode, people died, in the first season, and then once again we had the gas leak stuff. I said, reminding us, hey, this isn't like hunky dory. Anyone can do it. If you survive the first day, good job. Now you got to keep trying to survive every day you go into this job because it is very dangerous, but it's profitable, and no one's ever going to say no to this because it's such a high paying job. So we also have, as far as going here to this whole episode is pretty much, it's called Forever in an Instant, but it's pretty much everybody who's in a relationship defining what the relationship is, realizing what they have,
right?
Especially Tommy, because they're in Fort Worth, from last episode, and Tommy and Angela are already on pretty much.
He ate too much Cialis.
well, let's just say this. Tommy's waking he's in the hotel room and he's in bed. He wakes up, he's got a boner. And then there's this little Latina lady, like a girl who basically is like working for room service. And she freaks out, she screams, and he's like, "What the hell is going on?" He didn't realize that Angela ordered a dinner for them, or not dinner, but breakfast and stuff, but try to surprise him. He's like, "Well, I'm damn surprised," he's like, and she's like, "Jesus." She noticed too, is like, because the girl pretty much saw his nutsack, his dick was out, And he's like, I was like, what the fuck? He's like, what do you want me to do? It's like, you're the one that snuck people in here. That's why she's freaking out. It's you're the problem. And then she gets mad and she's like, well, she's like, you can have your fucking food then, how'd you fuck then? Because he's like, what am I supposed to do with this? She's like, take care of yourself. He's like, well, I'm gonna fuck that omelet over. She's like, don't you fuck my omelet. I love that it comes back later in the episode. And like the dad's like, what the hell?
That's the dad. I'm not trying to be funny, but never tell a woman you're going to try to fuck her omelet.
Yeah. So not only that, the biggest issue I have with this episode, not because it's a filler, it's more so because it's pretty much sealing in the fate or the doom of Cooper. Cooper is whipped. He really wants to get wedding, but at first he wasn't even his idea. It was
hers.
Her what's her name is can't remember what her name is offhand now. Ariana, and just like she's got, you got to do all this and such. Like you talk to my father, you talk to my mother-in-law and stuff, and now it's like now it's like,
now there's one third final test.
Yes, what? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So he ends up picking up Ainsley and his mother from the airport. Ainsley is basically in her bratty bitch teenager mode and just like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be here with Cooper. Why is he here? And I love this. Now this is the best part for Angela, because Angela gets a lot of flack from people who don't like the show. They quit because they don't like Angela eating.
You're right. But, women get a lot of heat on this show.
So she actually snaps at Ainsley, pulls her ear in the truck, and says like, enough that's smart talk, and sticks up for Cooper. Because Cooper,
back in the day, you could get away with that in school, and you would carry somebody to the office whip by their ear.
Yes, I saw in all the John Hughes movies.
That's not a joke. It was
I know. And
that's why that was very old school. We think of her as being like 34 years old. She is a MILF or whatever you want to call it. They present her that way. But she, like I said, she has a good heart, and we've been seeing these past few episodes. So you're right. A lot of people, these women, they get turned off because they think they're just like fake wives or trophy wives, and I don't think that they are.
Yeah, and anyway, so basically, she basically finally sticks up for Cooper and tells Ainsley to shut up, show some respect, and she gives Cooper her wedding ring, and Cooper then does this whole thing throughout the episode where he basically buys some flower petals. There's a whole trail from going inside. He's lit all the candles. Then there's a giant heart on the patio with candles and all stuff. And then still, when she gets there, she's like, "Oh, well, what do you want me to do?" He's like, "Well, it'd probably be better if you stand over there and stuff." It just felt so
cringy,
forced. Yes, forced.
Oh, it was awful.
Obviously, I want Cooper to do better. I don't care about Cooper's relationship with her. What I care about is Cooper becoming the Landman for his dad.
Exactly.
And Tommy moving up, because Tommy is the president right now. And so I'm looking for that, but we didn't get that this season so far. They teased it, which I'm really annoyed about, because I'd rather see that.
I don't want to dig too deep on anybody's personal beliefs here, so I'm not necessarily asking you specifically this, but when I felt really horrible watching it scene, just like you've described it, despite the fact that, anytime anybody proposes, they can always go find 1,000 rose petals and 1,000 candles, right?
Exactly.
And it's horse shit, right? And I get that the idea was, she wanted to be surprised.
Every Hollywood romance movie, there's always
Here's petals. The thing. When you look at those two, and it's the tough conversations, if you look at it like business in terms of relationship, what do you bring to the table? And she's demanding. She's giving him a little bit of sex once she got the ring and all that kind of stuff. She's making him jump through all these things.
Yeah.
He does not realize he's not controlling the narrative of their relationship.
She's
a
boss.
Widowed single mom who's making the choice to go work at a cafe of people, serving them with people she doesn't like the few times we've seen her interact. And other than she's being young and good looking, I mean, again, there's tons of those women that are out there. What makes you special to this guy that you're going to support him and allow him to be the man? How are you not going to be the Adrian to his Rocky? That's what's missing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people I read online. People do not like Ariana's character. It has nothing to do with race. It's just the fact that she's a toxic character to him, and she is controlling. And this is his first relationship. He's never been dated anybody else before this, so he is totally just being used.
He's railroaded completely.
Yeah. Anyway, but enough of that. We have some other stuff going on. Well, Rebecca and her booty call, Charlie. So she talks to Charlie. She's basically slept over in his his little trailer home stuff, and they seem like they're very happy, nice young romance stuff. You know, a lot more healthier than what Cooper's going through, and with Ariana. And Charlie basically comes out and says, "You know what? You have less than 10% chance if you want to drill a rig over there. You don't know the reasons why. You can see the hurricane may cause the reason for that rig to collapse, but who knows? Maybe you just were off by center, whatever." He said it's a crapshoot. You know, if you're going to spend $100 million, you could do this, you know, but there's no guarantee. There's a 10 less. He said, and she didn't like that, so she goes to talk to Nathan about this. Nathan, who basically does, I don't know what he's on an ego power trip, but he basically says like, "Oh, I hear you're fucking one of your subordinates, so here's the HR thing." Last I checked, he wasn't HR. It was Tommy. Tommy pretty much controlled everything. So
that's a good point, and I don't remember if his official role is accountant or legal. I think it might be legal counsel.
Legal counsel.
So he can still, as a lawyer, basically, strong arm her into doing it, or just highly recommend that she does it. Because what he does is he presents the threat to her in the professional manner, and she acquiesces very quickly.
So she goes out, she signs paper, and tears, whatever, runs outside her car, or walks out there, and then she's going to leave. And we see the girl showing Ainsley and what's her name, Angela showing up, being dropped off by Cooper. They kind of see her, and they're kind of like, man, they realize that something's wrong with her, and she's always kind of like in some kind of drama, whatever. They make a comment about that. Mm-hmm. Eventually, Tommy comes home and she talks to Tommy, and she starts apologizing. She's afraid that Tommy's gonna fire her. And Tommy says, "What the fuck you care? What is it all about?" He's like, "Oh, so you're banging someone? Who cares? Half the people come over here, they're banging everybody else." He said, "It's an HR nightmare, and no one gives a shit because as long as the job gets done, who gives a shit?" He's like, "We fire people doing bad jobs. If you do a good job, we keep you around." And honestly, that's the most healthiest thing I've seen from Tommy giving advice to people without being a dick.
Well, he almost seemed fatherly in that exchange, because I will say this about her character. As much as I love the badass boss girl kind of thing, because she does it so great, and she does it in a great Gen Z kind of way or whatever, has no clue about how the world works. She's still very strong.
Gen Z millennial. Yeah,
whatever it is, but because she looks really young, right? But she
she's 29.
Her character is, she knows she's caught up in something that she enjoys, and she says she's having that struggle, and that's a real struggle for a lot of grade A women that are boss ladies. Eventually, what about the social side of it, having a relationship?
Yeah.
They're starting to introduce it. So when she's sitting there in her car, kind of waiting, and everybody says hi, and they have that conversation, and she's acting like, "Daddy, I messed up. What's going on?" And he takes that role with her. And I thought that's the theme that you mentioned at the beginning, with him opening up. Because it's true. That's old school. If the job gets done, nobody cares.
And their relationship since the first season is basically, before they were at odds, but now they basically understand and respect for one another.
Correct.
And she's able to basically, and it just shows to him that he's got her back no matter what. Despite the fact that he might be getting fired by Cami, because as Galeno had said, he's like, "You better fucking fix this, with her, get back her trust, because the minute everybody else that works for her realizes that she doesn't like you, they're going to try and get you fired. They're going to try to talk her ear and get you out of here." And he basically needs Tommy for this business. Mm-hmm. So that's going on. Eventually, and then I said we got those three relationships are pretty much two were kind of rocky, but now they're kind of smoothing out. And then you have Rebecca's relationship too. And then I said it was a very not much moving forward with the plot episode. It was basically the dad, though. I love that one, because the conversation with the dad, because they went to go have they're on their way home, and he's like, "I gotta pee." He's like, "When do you fucking go pee back there, you old man?" And he basically pulls over. He goes pees, and I love this Sam Elliott, where he goes in the woods. He's like, "Of course, there's a fucking rattler there right there. That's my life." So he pisses all over the freaking snake.
He's like, "Put me out of my misery." Well, the one thing about his character that I like it, but I'm questioning how effective it's going to be. And I said small doses would be good when he's positive and enjoying life. That's obviously why he's there for it. So I expect some tragedy to befall him. But at the same time, hearing him piss on a rattlesnake and making a comment, "Put me out of misery," I think there's that unspoken thing about older people. And we didn't see this side of it necessarily when the ladies were having the margarita parties with the old folks home.
No.
But what it is older people live in pain, well, I'm not saying that they're always dementia laden or anything like that, but they have physical aches, pains, and, life's baggage and everything else there too. And he carries that so well, but it's like, man, how much more pain can you have there, buddy? I mean, geez.
I'm just saying, as far as Simulate's role on here being a TL, Tommy's father, he's pretty much he's
Yoda.
No, he's not Yoda. He's more like Kelsey Grammer's father on Frasier. He's there for he's. You never watched Frasier?
Never, not an episode.
Wow.
But explain what that means.
All right. Well, okay, he's opposite of Frank. But if you watch Everybody Loves Raymond, at least.
Oh God, no.
You're
got a laugh track.
You're hopeless.
Raymond's not funny.
You want to get any references on? You're too old. You're a boomer.
I'm not a fucking boomer. Clown.
Anyway, he's there to give moral advice to Tommy, because he's basically he's exact. No,
guide him.
You're going boomer when you go to Yoda, okay? So I
don't like Star Wars anyway, but go ahead.
Anyway, so yeah, he's there as example of what not to do. He tells Tommy, he's like, if you're confused what to do, look at my life. I did everything wrong, and so I love it because on the way back, after Tommy goes out to have a cigarette and stuff because his dad says, like, you're gonna fucking smoke? I'm trying to eat here. He's like, I eat myself. I'm trying to enjoy the rest of what's left of my life. So I eat slow. And so Tommy goes out there, has a few cigarettes, even wastes half a cigarette. He just kicks on the ground, dusts it out and stuff. Some people actually save it though, and they'll use it for later.
That was
like a 3/4 of a cigarette still left there. Anyway, as they drive home, his dad falls asleep.
That's intentional because we've seen him finish, right?
Yeah.
Is that as a purpose of them filming and showing that 3/4 plus of a cigarette not being lit is him possibly changing his ways,
trying to quit smoking,
calling that foreshadowing? Hey, I listened to my father.
Yeah. On the way home. So on the way home, basically, his dad falls asleep, and I'm thinking like, dude, Sam Elliott could be dead in the truck because he yells. He's like, "Dad, wake up! Dad, wake up!"
His mustache.
He's like, "What the fuck is your problem? Blow my mustache!" And I was just laughing. I was like, "Okay." They go inside, and of course they're gonna have taco night. And I'm thinking, oh, here we go. We're gonna see things flying because Angela's still pissed off at Tommy.
That's the opposite, right? That's the beauty of this scene.
Yeah. And she ends up, Tommy realizes that she's still pissed at him. He's like, here. He's like, and they go. He pulls her aside, and he apologizes to her, and he says, like, it compliments how beautiful you are. And she's like, and I love this because it's always Angela. This is Angela's thing. You forgot to mention how great my tits look. He's like, they're the best ever. And they kind of make up. They have their little kiss stuff. And
she's
that's
getting affirmation of what she's been seeking for all these episodes now. Even though he didn't say, "I'm going to marry you again."
Yes,
he basically said, "We're gonna make this work." So he's actualized her beliefs, which is all she's wanted by being nice to him.
Mm-hmm. So the other big thing that's going to happen right now, it actually is pushing the narrative forward as far as what's going with the business and the drilling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to basically go to court because they realize they have no chance of drilling, and so their next move is, as the name says, we'll litigate.
They're investigating it. They're doing a cost-benefit analysis on here saying, hey, if we litigate, it'll end up costing X.
Yes.
Or if we do it the other way, that's Y. So what's going to happen is some things I think is going to come out of left field here and change their going over because what kind of story do we have if they just litigate? What story do we have when we don't? Let's be honest. Do we really care about the main boss guy, getting ready to retire? I'm not saying I dislike the guy, but they only showed them more and more. And I'm like, why are they showing these guys we don't care about them? So
what main boss guy?
The crew that got in danger with the sulfur dioxide.
No, Mufasa. It's the guy. Yeah. I like him. Yeah, they're great side characters.
I don't. But the point is he hasn't been around that much where we're emotionally vested in him to care. But
I disagree.
Retirement. Well, that's fine. I'm just saying they're introducing that whole point there, and I'm like, why are we supposed to care? It sounds like I'm telling you they're gonna have, him be replaced by his son, possibly his Landman. I think there's going to be a break off into another business.
Well, the other guy's not a Landman.
He runs the crew. True.
Yes, he's Tommy's right-hand man, pretty much. He helps Tommy out, other than Dale. And he gets the crews together and leads crews over there. He's reliable. That's why Tommy over the years has pretty much favored him.
Let me ask you this. Let's say Tommy gets fired. That'd be kind of interesting. And he hires him and he forms his own crew, expecting his son to be a part of it, but his son doesn't want to.
We've talked about this before, and I don't think Tommy's going to get fired. And I wouldn't want to see that. That'd be horrible writing if Tommy gets fired. Because there'd be no point in him getting fired. And also, the whole thing with Galeno is going to be kind of crashing out. If they're suing, means they're no longer taking the $400 million loan.
Yeah, there's going to be something going on with the money part to it. Yeah. I have to think about it. They only mention this details. They do it in such a great, easy way writing that you're like, that makes sense. But they don't. Yeah. We don't live it as viewers, because this is all about you. So, like you said, the relationships and them being reaffirmed, whether we like them or not. 100%. That's the whole tone of this episode. It's probably the most laid back, I think, episode we've seen.
Yeah, as far as Mustafa speaks and the rest of those guys, why they've been showing us, because they're going to be involved in this series, probably later down in the episodes. As far as that, Tommy's going to be, because Tommy they were working with Dale trying to get that other one, that rig up. That on land, the one that had the gas leak. Mm-hmm. So you're going to see these guys pretty much. Well, also the other reason why we see a lot they're introducing these characters because that's the people who basically do the jobs and stuff, and they're reinforcing as a viewer. If you worked in the oil field, this is the experience you'd have. These guys, and plus a lot of us when they're walking around the expo, that's like me and my friends walking at a car show and looking at all the expensive cars we get one of our own. And then seeing all the new shit they're putting out that's crappy parts, it's for the audience to identify with. And also, as I said, is also for us to basically to have experience more of that area over there in Texas, over in Northwest by Fort Worth, and seeing the cattle, where the cattle would go through and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was just a way to get us to see more of the scenery.
Oh, I agree, and that's a part of the show. You have to, just like the transition shots of the oil rigs and the gas fields.
I love the drone shots. Every time they go up, they go, and just to show exactly what's going on in this city, and remind you that this is where it's taking place. Because a lot of times you get these shows, they wouldn't tell you where they are. Like Married with Children, you knew it's somewhere, but they didn't really show you the drone shots. Now everybody has drone shots for every shows. You notice that? They do that on The Rookie. They were doing that on what's it called? Bosch. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like that. It's cliche, but it works and helps you get more invested in the show. I'd say. I agree. Because
seeing is very, very important, and seeing those really beautiful shots, you feel like you're there. So when they're outside talking, having a conversation, and it's got the old camping kettle pot outside his office trailer or like that, and they're looking over the fields, and he's like, this is the one thing about Charlie. I've given him a lot of shit. It was bad, his bad hair, his everything and all that. It's like, this is beautiful, and he explains blah, 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 and he has this moment. I'm like, okay, I'll give you that, Charlie. And he gives you a little professional speech there to her about, well, it's called wildcatting and this and that. Like, but those drone shots help us make us feel like we're outside at breakfast time, 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's 100 degrees. Mm-hmm. I mean, absolutely, I agree, totally.
Yeah, and plus they're showing all those drone shots have a specific reason. They're showing you the actual landmarks that are in the area too.
Yes.
Yeah. So whenever you go, you see like a motel sign. Well, in Breaking Bad or whatever you're watching, people recognize that because some people actually hey, I've driven past that for especially if you're trying to enforce that maybe you're on a historic area like Route 66, you're gonna see landmarks that are famous for Route 66. So I said there's a reason why we have those guys in there. I think more so plot wise, they'll be as far as what's going to story. You're going to see Mustafa speaks, be in there. I think either he gets injured or dies,
right,
or something like that happens. But I said it's not just about Tommy. It's all these characters have their own little visual stories, and so and you see how Dale came in there and just kind of bridge the gap between Tommy and Zub, because Tommy has his own thing going on, and with those other guys, they want to remind because what happens is when you have the accident. And all those guys went to the hospital, and then never see him again would be kind of ridiculous.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice to see. Hey, he shows Dale there, and this is also possible where Dale might get a booty call because one of the girls is flirting with him. Because he's single, and who knows? And I said, there's always Taylor Sheridan is the one that's writing this. That's why it's. I believe everything on this show is a million times better than anything else he's written. And plus we have the same director every episode too. Mm-hmm. So it's like Miami Vice, you know what's going to happen. Sometimes it feels like cliche because sometimes episodes repeat, storylines repeat, stuff like that. But you know what you're getting into. I don't like it when you have two writers for one episode. What? No, because then you get, well, I wrote this, and then it was like when it was the same thing. It was Justice League. That was through Zack Snyder. You had Zack Snyder had his own version, and then the last half is Josh Whedon. It didn't fit.
It just can't be consistent regardless of what the vision is. That's hard to do that.
But overall, it is a bunch of filler episode, very much tying up romances and people. And Rebecca with Charlie, they're being romantic. I don't really care either one way or another. But I don't know. It's obviously because it sounds like she's gonna break up with him because she's afraid or whatever because of Nathan. And my thing is this a turn for Nathan? Because he goes in and he pulls Nathan aside. What the hell do you think you're doing? It's like, is this worth it? This bullshit. And he's like, well, he's like, get bad for company, and he's like, I'm off the clock. Whatever. So I think Nathan. Do I think Nathan's gonna backstab Tommy, working for Cami? Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Look, the one thing you said about Sheridan, I think, is appropriate, and considering I've only tried watching a couple of the other shows, is you can have an idea and let people flesh out for you, have your name slapped on it. I get it. That's how these things work. To me, when people say, "Oh, Landman, that's that show about oil," it's it must be like Dallas. It's a Texas thing, or like it's the current version of Dallas back in the 70s, 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is Dallas is not about oil. Whatever the setting is just the backdrop. It's a place where your story can unfold, and the story is the characters of how each of these generations of people in this family. It's a legacy thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a drama. Literally, it's got nothing to do with oil, and that's the beauty of it, because they spent enough time early on with the quirkiness of each of the characters to kind of show them and let them grow a little bit. And whether we like them all or not, we're not going to like them all, but we can see, hey, at least, this guy, Charlie, that I shit on, right? He's been consistent a few episodes we've seen him, and we knew he'd have a more prominent role. We predicted it way ahead of time, right? Okay, that's fine. But it's not doing anything to make us go, wait a minute, he would not do that. The only problem I think that we're having is with Ariana a little bit, or maybe that's just how she always was, and we gave her the benefit of the doubt because everybody was very consistent with the characters, and we were grieving for her.
I think when she first started off, it's kind of weird. Some people are like, it's a red flag. She just got out. Her husband just died.
It's a rebound,
and it's a rebound and that stuff. And then him pursuing her was just kind of weird, and just. And so
he needs to be taken advantage of to get over that naivete that he has, so that way he can focus on his strength, which that we need to see actualized in the show in becoming a Landman, is that ability. Because again, the one thing that's lacking from all the characters is what they're trying to say in terms of relationships here, and that is hey, we know we've got something good. How do we get out of it? What's the right, what's the right play? So they're going to need something that's going to distract them from them, knowing how to get off the hamster wheel, so to speak, and do everything. Because let's be honest, as much stress as they have, when you look at them, you could argue, wait a minute, they ain't living in the hood. They got that private jet on call. They got the big house. They got the money. They got this. They're not lacking for nothing. They don't seem to be unhealthy physically, even though Billy Bob's got to be about 70 years old now. He's 65, 70, I'm guessing. He's up there, but he's got a lot of energy. And I'm just saying, so how bad do they really have it? So I'm glad that there is a nice balance between some of the work stuff, and the work's not emphasized that much, but just enough. So it'll be interesting, because I definitely feel like hopefully Demi Moore's character is going to really make me hate her. And I say that in a positive way, because she's doing a great job of like sliding onto the other side too. So we're just waiting for that to happen, and it's been marinating here now that we've had a very chill.
Had she just been in there, had she just been like side with Tommy when against Galeno, there wouldn't be that tension drama in the show. And I'm glad that that she kind of like, hey, I'm the one who's in legacy here, and Tommy's saying, well, she doesn't like me because she thinks I'm a loser, and I'm thinking like she's an elite, rich, yuppie wife who basically didn't have to do damn work, days of work at all, and basically she has
business.
She married into a guy. The guy made it rich, but she finds out how he stayed rich because her husband was a con artist.
He's even though he's dead.
Yeah,
that's the most intriguing thing to the show to me is how did this fucker do his business? Because he's not stupid.
No.
And we find out that he
went through
he hired
loopholes.
him on them when during the crash. So you're like, there's a little mystery here. They're not playing up a lot. That's
He
going to
went-
factor into it, I think.
He went through loopholes, so he didn't have to. Didn't have to worry about getting approved by government stuff and slow down because he needed stuff and he wanted to play the politics. So he figured, I'll just go around, do this stuff and this. He had a system laid out, and even had his lawyer, his insurance lawyer, whatever, buy insurance company, put money into the invest in this, and just then the money's offshore here.
He was doing.
Yeah,
that was the beauty. He knew how to set it up.
Yeah. The problem is though, is that that's what ate his heart away. And that's why he had heart issues and stuff like that, because he was constant all the stress.
Yes.
And then probably with Cami probably bitching at him too.
No. Well, that's the way of the world. There's people that can set things up. There's people that can execute it. There's people that take direction. We see a lot of these kind of different characters here, and it's not a hardcore political kind of thing, which I like, but it is about who knows what, who can get the job done, and seeing how these conflicts in the adult community like that arrange. I'm very entertained by the show. It's been a great watch so far. I know it's only been 2 seasons, so we'd basically be getting towards the end of first season if this was back in my old days in the 80s of network TV. So if Miami Vice went 4 or 5 seasons, well, this one could definitely go some more. I know they're renewed for season 3. We'll be talking about that next year, but as we're wrapping up here tonight, what do we have going on tomorrow that's special, Sarah?
Well, tomorrow we're going to do a special live stream. We'll be talking about Bone Tomahawk, the 2015 American Western drama horror / movie, starring Kurt Russell, Matthew Fox, and Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, I just got done watching it, and
it does have a happy ending. It goes out with a bang.
There's no happy endings like they always promised.
But here's what it is. It's cowboys versus cannibal Indians.
Oh, don't say no more.
Yeah.
Don't say no more.
Yeah.
I love it. A plus viewing experience for me, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that.
Remind me that, hey, remember Matthew Fox from Lost? Yeah. This is 2015. That's only years ago. It was 10 years ago. And I'm wondering, does that guy even act anymore? Because I thought he was the best actor.
He did a movie around this time, I think, where there was an assassination and they tried to frame him because he was an FBI guy. That's all I remember. Yeah. And I remember looking at his wiki one time going, yeah, he must be living off that residual money because he's AWOL. And you know what? He can do that. More power to him. He's phenomenal in this movie. It's an excellent movie. I don't want to say too much, but tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll be talking about it.
Matthew Fox was the best character in Lost other than Josh Holloway. I thought those are 2 guys. I liked them. I didn't care about John Locke, those guys on there. Characters.
Yeah.
Because Matthew Fox came off as the guy who could be the lead. You could do the action guy if they wanted to, the leader stuff, or bank heist, whatever, and Josh Holloway was always the bad boy kind of type guy. He was he went and did the show called The Dome, I think it was after this. And then he also appeared in one of the, was it Ghost Protocol? I think it was the one. Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol. He was the thief, or he gets whatever, in the beginning. So yeah, overall, like I said, I'm looking forward to reviewing that. That's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern special time for tomorrow. If you can make it, cool. If you can't make it, watch it on the replay. And for those who are watching on the vertical and also watching on the layout, we're going to keep trying to do this because it seems like YouTube's pushing the vertical live stream layouts. So our goal is basically to reach out as many people as we can, because it seems like since May, they stopped pushing the long format, basically the normal horizontal. If you're watching on the horizontal feed, which you can, if you're on a phone, you can flip and it goes into a normal, phone, whatever mode. But yeah, so we're going to continue with that. Sunday is going to be turning into, we're going to do another episode of, what's it called? Fallout number 3. And I'm not sure if Professor Pixel will be back and joining us for Hannibal or doing Hannibal on this Sunday or not.
Next time he's available, we'll be finishing that up.
Yeah, 13. But we'll definitely have that up there. And as far as going for our movie of the week, we'll have to talk to Eric Breen, but it's going to be, we're done with Christmas. So we're going to move on to doing some other black and white, kind of like 1940s, 1950s noir kind of type movies. We're even not doing noir, just older movies. I'm in a mood for a Bogart movie. I haven't watched Bogey in a while, so You'll find out that'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, so check that out. So looking at 6:30 for what's it called? Fallout episode 3, and then then our regular movie, classic movie, cinema, whatever review at 7 p.m. Eastern. But for those who showed up tonight, thank you for being here. Looks like we had in the vertical, we had quite a few people here. Felix Goat, Everett the Rock,
nice.
Everett the Rothrock, and then Chris Red.
No relation to Cynthia.
Yep. So thank you guys for being here, and for the Desert Rose watching in the layout, the normal PC version. Thanks for being here, and nothing wrong with that. So, hey,
good night, everybody.
I'll just say this: my mom said the best thing about YouTube. Why the fuck would I want to watch it on a vertical on my phone when I have a freaking Roku when I can watch it on a widescreen?
All right.
Yeah, right. The whole point of us was getting the giant movie things. Now they want us to go on our phones. This isn't the 80s, you know, where everything has to be on a big giant phone. You know, I can now call and it's like, no, I'm not Wolf. No, I don't want to watch Wolf of Wall Street. No.
All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. And also, if you can, leave a comment down below what you thought of this episode. Do you agree with us? Do you think we're wrong? Do you think we're full of shit? Maybe we missed something, point it out, or just say hello. It helps the algorithm push us out and lets people know that, hey, people actually watch these guys. I'm always shocked. All right, have a good night, guys.